one, hey all, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to rock out with a 2-for-1 Transformers animated review thanks to our buddy Maximal10 when we look at Soundwave and Laserbeak in the latest GotBot True review. Hey one, hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you are at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton and let you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that's in the description down below, and also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. So we're kind of delving a little bit, and we'll be doing this for the next while, into Transformers Animated. Way back when, somewhat 15-ish odd years ago, a little bit more than that maybe. And this is Soundwave. I remember him from the show. I remember Laserbeak from the show. I thought it was so cool that Laserbeak turned into a guitar. It was definitely a bit of a different take on both of these characters, but not a bad take. How did the plastic rendition work out? Well, we're going to find out when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this duo. And that's right, today we're going to dip into a little bit of Transformers Animated, courtesy of our buddy Maximal10, and we're going to look at sort of a 2-for-1 here with Soundwave and Laserbeak. I certainly remember these characters from the show. I've never actually handled either of these molds, though I'm not going to lie, I always thought that Laserbeak as a guitar was a pretty darn cool idea. At this point, all I'm going to say is that Laserbeak is attached to the top via 2 little rectangular tabs on his feet that fit into a slot up there. You may notice here on the side of this fake, it kind of looks like a Scion XB, but this fake Jeep thing that has like a cassette motif on it. You may notice that there's 2 little rectangular slots on the spools, I suppose, and they're on both doors. That is where Laserbeak's little rectangular tabs go in robot mode so that he can, you know, sit on Soundwave's arm. I don't have the packaging, but I do have his bio and his instructions. Basically, he really likes to make a lot of noise and he likes to rock out, which makes sense with Laserbeak. On the other side of this sheet, we do have the instructions. I'm not going to lie though, they leave a little something to be desired. And so we'll start with Laserbeak here first. Of course, this looks like a pretty good rendition of like an electric guitar. Certainly like from like that 80s rock era to me, right? I'm pretty sure that the Sound Blaster repaint comes with Buzzsaw as a keytar, if I'm not mistaken. But this is cool, very easy transformation because we just flip down the front of the guitar and push this up to make the tail, and that's it, because his little feeties are already out on the bottom. But that's Laserbeak in his bird mode. It's not bad, not really any articulation, but I'll say this, the head, while it looks really cool, I really miss having colored in eyes on it. I guess the wings can go forward, they don't flap up and down, the tail doesn't do anything, the feet doesn't, or don't. And this feels like it should be able to rotate, but it doesn't. So, I don't know. Like, it looks cool, it's big, but certainly not well articulated. Transformation for this guy, I mean, 10, because it's super duper easy. Look like Laserbeak, I don't know. I mean, like, I think it looks pretty good. I'm going to give it an 8. Articulation, 0. It doesn't really articulate at all. That's not a bad thing. Again, this guy's only a minion, but he's a nice big minion at that. Oh, what say we move on to Soundwave here, who rolls very nicely. I will note too that there's some gold Decepticon logos on him. I'm pretty sure they got changed to like normal Decepticon logos on the Takara version. Just something worth noting that I happen to pick up on. Also, not for nothing, but in stock photography, the rims here seem to be colored gold, much like the play buttons and stuff here on the front of the vehicle, but they're not obviously on the actual release. Like I said, rolls really cool. This is the back, which is very plain, unfortunately. Over here, nice deco. Top has a nice deco. And of course, the front has like his play buttons and stuff, as I previously mentioned. We're going to begin by kind of picking the top up off there, and we'll sort of split these. And I'm going to bring these out to the side. That's not the way the instructions tell you to do it. They kind of say to start by splitting back here first, but I do find when you do that, it's really hard to get these arms out, at least on this copy. So I split those, and there we go. You split those, and then you have to angle them up and then you kind of angle them down. Cool. I'm going to back the camera up a little bit just so we can see what we're working with here a little bit better. Okay, so hopefully this gives us enough room to do what we got to do. So the arms now I have brought down. The hands here, we can just flip that out and flip the other hand out. Cool. When we, let's see, maybe I'll flip the head out next. And then the whole chest is a bit weird. There's a hinge, a blue hinge weight in here, and you really have to like kind of angle that up, but it doesn't feel fun to push it up, honestly. Or I don't find it feels like very much fun pushing it up. And I don't want to break it because it's not mine, but you have to use this hinge in here to get it up so that it tabs over these two little nubs. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do this part off camera just because I'm not comfortable doing it. Okay, so I got it up, and all that happens is there's two little nubs there that this goes over. It's not fun doing this, and where it's not mine, I just did not want to take the chances with it. We rotate the waist around all the way, and then we should be able to, I guess, come to the front here, and the buttons, they kind of flip. So we come here and flip that out and all the way around, and it makes his lower leg kneecap basically. We come over here and see if I can show it a bit better. We flip this all the way up around, and now his knees can come out, and then we just bring up a foot, and boom, in the end here we have Soundwave in his robot mode. I'm going to get Laserbeak on his arm, and then we'll talk a little bit about scores for this guy. Oops. I know I said boom, and here he is in his robot mode, but I did forget to fold in that tire. They're supposed to be folded in. Hips on this copy are a little bit loose, but I think that's just with age. So, transformation to this, about 7.5. I do find that the arms and shoulders like to stick a little bit, and I do find that a little cumbersome. And I do find that I really have to attend to what I'm doing with legs. Now, some people might really like that, and I will admit that for a deluxe, that is nice and complex. It's just certain things didn't feel comfortable during the transformation, and it might just be, again, they're just seized up with age or something, right? I don't mind the legs, and they're being a bit complicated. I wish the arms kind of came out a little bit easier because I feel like I want to pull them out instead of angle them up, and I don't like having to use that hinge on the chest just because it's very tight. If your hinge on the chest is a little looser, maybe it's not so bad. So I'm going to say 7.5, but I understand if you scored higher because of tolerances on your copy. In terms of look for the guy compared to the cartoon model, I mean, he's not bad. Down here, we do have the gold toes. We should have another kind of teal accent. The knee teal accent is correct. Up here on the hips, there should be a little teal accent, but that's minor. We have the one on the forearm. We have the one going around the tires. We do not have the gold on the rims of the tire. The head looks pretty much the way it should. However, with his backpack behind him and the kind of I think paint on the eyes, what looks to be light piping on the back of the head, I don't see that working. The gold Decepticon insignia on his chest should just be a regular Decepticon insignia, but besides that, everything's here. I'm going to say in terms of a rendition of Soundwave, oh, and his fingers should be gold. I'm going to say it's a solid, I'm going to say it's a 9. There are things that could have been added here, but I'm going to say that it's a 9. Let's do the articulation. So far we have a 7.5 for transformation from me, and we have a 9. So we're going to say right now that this guy's about, what, 8.25? Let's do the articulation. The head can go left and right. I guess it can look up, but really, I mean, it's because you would put it back up for transformation. By the way, these speaker circles here, they're also correct. The arms can go all the way around? Yeah, all the way around, using the transformation hinge here, which is a lot like the shoulder of Power of the Primes Evolution Rodimus Prime, which I didn't like the shoulders on him either, but this is a lot like that. These can angle up more, yeah, to give you more outward motion, but it's again, it's a weird hinge. You can get 90 degrees at the elbow, just make sure this panel is outside the forearm. Rotation of the forearm. The hand can go in, but no rotation there. We have a waist because it's part of transformation. Leg all the way forward, leg all the way back. We have a knee in, if that's any use to you, but we also have just shy of 90 degrees, maybe 80 degrees at the knee there. The foot can go forward and back, but nothing to the... Oh no, there is an ankle tilt to the side. I stand corrected. He has ankle tilt to the side, and in terms of, bring these up, in terms of his ability to do like the splits, he gets out about that far. And like I said, right now I do find the hips here are a little bit loose, but I'm gonna just chalk that up to age rather than anything else. You can get most of what you want, though the shoulders have a bit of a limitation that you can work around with the transformation hinge. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And the elbow, to be fair, if you have the arm in a bit too much, the elbow loses it, but I mean, just adjust your elbow and you get your full bend. I'm gonna say, he was getting an 8.25. I'm going to say the articulation is 8.75. Overall, I'm going to say Soundwave is about an 8.5. Laserbeak is a nice little add-on whose, scores were a little skewed because, to be fair, I mean, the guy doesn't have, I didn't have his tail all the way pushed up. He doesn't really have any articulation, but I don't think he's meant to. He's meant to be an accessory. Overall, as a set with these two, both Laserbeak and Soundwave, I'm going to say that the overall score is about an 8. Maybe an 8.25. Not bad for something that is, climbing up around 15, 20 years old. It still holds up very well. And here we are once again, and here they are. So, Laserbeak, cool guitar, cool bird. I do wish that we had more movement. Like, I wish the wings could kind of flap up and down instead of just going forward and backward. I could handle the tail not really doing anything. I do wish the head and neck had some movement. But for what it is, it's certainly big. And you know what? Like, at least he's in like a battle attack pose, so to speak, where you could have him interact with other characters. Then we get to Soundwave himself. And Soundwave's all right. I think the lower legs take a little bit of getting used to. They're a tiny bit bonkers, but assuming you remember that you have to kind of rotate the shin and knee piece around, the rest of it's fairly easy because everything sort of logically falls into place. It's nice that we have a waist rotation. It's nice that that waist rotation is incorporated into the transformation. The shoulders. I mentioned this. I do wish that, like... When you look at the instructions, it seems like these just pull out, but really what you're doing is you're sort of like, you got to angle them out, and I don't find these are the easiest to come out from this slot in here, but it's okay once you're used to it. For me, the biggest issue and the biggest pain in my neck has to be the chest. It's on a hinge here, and we've had a lot of collapsible hinges before, but this one just happens to be very, very, very tight. Once you do it, it's fine, but I can't say as I feel comfortable bringing the hinge up for the chest, or, to be fair, I also don't feel comfortable pushing it back down for the vehicle. It's a really tight hinge, and of course, where this isn't mine, I was a little bit gun shy with it. That said, cool looking robot mode. I think I like the gold Decepticon logo actually better than the regular Decepticon logo. Really cool, Scion-esque vehicle mode, a la the alt mode here really reminds me a la the Cybertronian alt mode that the War for Cybertron Soundwave has. He's good. I wish the shoulders didn't have this armature here to rely on, for that hinge, for like a T-pose hinge. I didn't think it worked with Power of the Prime's Rodimus Prime. I don't think it works here. It's just, I get it's something that they've done a few times. I don't like when they do it. He's good, not perfect, but certainly fun, and certainly looks great on the shelf. Displays really, really well. Let me know what you think about Animated Soundwave. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us here on the channel, and don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world, and I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old-fashioned way, right here, inside the videos.